Nuckman, do a little trading. He's the chief market strategist at bullseyeoption.com. Alan, it's a beautiful day in Chicago. It's almost 60 degrees already. Yep. Markets are pretty calm. Employment data seem to set the tone for maybe a softer Fed. Why are you going to spoil it all by going and trading a garbage blockchain stock?
We'll get into that in a second, but I have to talk first about where's the worry. 2023 has gone exactly the way we wanted it for the bulls, okay? Every asset class is up, and we've got rates down, and we've got the dollar is about to test its lows once again, which is going to be a positive for everybody else. And you know what else is down significantly? Earnings expectations. They're negative, okay? So anything remotely with a heartbeat, the market should have a positive reaction because, you know, they've beaten it down so badly.
All right, I hear you. Hey, VIX doesn't really go below 19 anymore, though. Does that worry you about getting too long here when volatility just doesn't seem to drop below these levels anymore?
All right, the VIX was at 39 just not so long ago. It's been cut in half, so it's hanging out at this 18, 19, 20 level. You know, we'll see what the next move is, but the way the S&P is set up, you know, we did have that bullish divergence back in October, and that's what this trade is based on. I trade what I see, I trade what my indicators tell me. I don't think. So the S&P made new lows back in October, but did not make new highs in implied volatility. That was telling us that the short sellers had run out of strength and the emotion was leaving the market. That's a sign of a sentiment shift. So let's shift over to Marathon. Now, I looked at this stock incorrectly. I thought I was going to Marathon Oil, and this chart popped up, and I loved it. I couldn't ignore what the chart was telling me.
Okay. Why Marathon, though? I mean, you're kind of like going into, you know, this is a crypto stock. I know you're not a fundamental guy, you're a technical guy, Alan, but you know, you're like tying your fate to the swings of a stock that was at $83 and is now at $780.
Right. Okay. Well, let's just round around to 8. Okay. So it's around the 8 level. Let's just make it a little easier on us. Okay?
Fair enough. I'm
a trader, and I'm about risk reward. I'm about probability, and I'm about market movement here. Okay. So if we look at it, Bitcoin has rallied 50%. All right. And I'm not a trading bro. I'm the furthest thing from a trading bro.
Well, I don't know if you're the furthest thing, Alan.
My wife trades some crypto, and I don't even know what's going on. Okay. I have no idea. So if you look at Bitcoin, it's been between roughly 20,000 and 30,000 for months and months and months. Breakout target's 40,000, which is about 35% above. Okay? Now this particular stock, like you said, has been just absolutely beaten to heck. It's 90% off its 2021 top. It's 60% off its 2022 top, but it is 150% off the bottom here, and it had that bullish divergence that I talked about in the S&P in January. That's when you see the sentiment shift, and now you've seen a bit of a bounce, and some of these people that have been making tons and tons and tons of money on the short side are starting to cover their positions. That feeds it higher, and so forth. You're also seeing the indicator that I use that we need to talk about more, which is the leverage buying indicator. Okay. So the leverage longs are accumulating positions here. Now, that's a smart money indicator. This stock is traded between 6 and 9 now for a couple months. A breakout at range target's 12. That's just what I look for here. So what I'm looking at is a $6 call for September. It's got 5 months, almost 6 months of time. It's trading for about $3. It's $2 in the money. And if we get to that 12 modest breakout target, the option gains 100%. Now, if you bought the stock here because it's an inexpensive stock, you know, it's going to cost you, to buy 100 shares, it's going to cost you $800. This option's less than half of that. It has limited risk. I can sleep at night. I've got plenty of time to be right, and I'm in position for success and not doing the bro trade, buying a $30 call for 10 cents. I'm buying an in-the-money option that's going to act like the stock being long from 6, which is probably a good place to be.
Got it. Okay. All right. So the classic Nuckman in-the-money trade, and looking at a strike that seems to have carved out a little support around that area on the chart. All right, I hear it. So you don't have to be like some crypto zealot to make this trade. You're just a guy looking for tech companies with some potential to break out.
Right. It's about risk reward. It's about probability. And again, it's not what you trade, it's how you trade. And this in the money option, is set up for success. All we got to do is break out here above 9, get the shorts to scramble a little bit more. And again, I'm not looking for this to get back at the 80 level. I'm just looking for it to get to 12 and my option gains 100%. And that's good enough for me.
All right. Sounds reasonable. No bros. Might have the colorful plaid shirt, but not a bro.
I have very rarely called reasonable, so be careful what you say.
Okay, maybe not reasonable, but okay. And I don't. So maybe just
a good
a bro.
Plan.
You could have walked right out of shenanigans right now, Alan, and nobody would have blinked an eye. All right. Appreciate it. Always fun to chat, Mr. Nuckman. All right, the trade in Marathon. A crypto trade, a blockchain trade, but also just a tech trade. When we come back, let's talk some AI. Is it a flash in the pan and something like the blockchain metaverse memification